my channel, I teach you about how to find jobs and thrive in them. And today I have something of a blend about being happier at work. I've got a half a dozen lessons. We can call them secrets. I would call them really good tactics that actually will, I guess, feed two birds with the same piece of bread. Because if you follow me for a while, you know I think that your trajectory in life is more important than where you are at any moment in time. And when we talk about being happy in a situation, what makes you happy is not just what you're doing at any moment, but how you're feeling about your overall situation, right? If you're moving in the right direction, you see yourself making progress, you usually feel happier. Now, happiness is a state of mind. It is something that is present. If you think happiness happens when or is somewhere in the future, I always say you're 100% right, because it will never be wherever you are. It will always be somewhere else. But I do think that there are things that we can do day in and day out that make us feel happier about our jobs. And I am not going to go through anything silly and trite like smile and keep a good attitude and be positive and be a team player. I'm not giving you any of that nonsense. You know all that already. I want to give you some very prescriptive things that I think, number one, will help you do your job better, feel better about what you've done, and position you, should you need to bail out, should you need to leave, or if you get let go, will position you to find that next job. Sound good? All right, now, one thing I want to tell you is that a lot of you know that I've been an executive recruiter for a very long time. Between 2004 and 2019, I did it 100% of the time. And one of the things that I would do whenever I would interview somebody or try to recruit them or talk to them or network with them or whatever it might be is I would ask them, what are the reasons why you changed jobs? Just very quickly, what made you go from one to the next? Why did you quit? Top 3 reasons that people gave me: I didn't like my boss, I wasn't learning anything, or I wasn't really making an impact or learning, I didn't believe in the corporate vision or where we were going as a company. That's generally why most people quit. 4 out of 5 people quit because of their boss. So I would love to know from you in the chat, what are some of the things that make you unhappy at work? I'd love to see that right now, because I'm going to dive into what I think are the 6 things that I would do to make myself feel better, not just in my current job, but really about my career. And so get in the chat. Let me know, what are some of the things that bum you out? And I'm going to start yapping, and then we're going to look back after I go through number 1. I'll look at the chat, and we'll kind of call some of these out. So first thing, going back to what I just said about some of the top 3 reasons why people quit their jobs, their boss, they're not learning anything, they don't believe in the corporate vision, is the first thing that I would absolutely do to make myself feel better about anything, any day of my life, would be, number 1, to create a career development plan and build skills. So this all goes together. Put the plan together and then execute it. And why do I want to do this? Well, you might have a pretty good career if you're good at your job, but you will have an epic career if you work on yourself. The more you work on yourself, as opposed to specifically your job and those skills, the stronger you'll be, the more freedom you'll have, the more things you'll be able to do, the greater the impact you'll have. And so you might be wondering, well, hey, Coach Andy, what goes into building a career development plan and a skill building plan? Now, the first remark I'm going to tell you is, well, if you would just show up on August 6th at 1:30 Central Daylight Time, I'm going to teach you the whole thing, like section, chapter, verse, and everything that goes into it. But for the incredibly impatient, I'm going to give you what I think needs to go into the plan right now so that you actually can collect this information, evaluate it, and work your skills. So let me see, which way's the card go? Here we go. These are career development plan, skill building plan inputs. What are your goals? What skills do I need to build in order to achieve these goals? What are the lessons that are going to teach me how to build the skills? What tools do I need to practice the skills, execute the skills? Coaches, Coach Andy's right there up on the top of the list, but you might need a few more coaches, right? The calendar. Well, It needs to be time-based. I need deadlines. I need checkpoints. I need progress check-ins. So I've got to have a calendar, and I want to associate what I'm building to coincide with when I need to use the skill in real life. Maybe you got a presentation coming up next month, something like that. I want to see that on the calendar, and I want to be working my skill development in alignment with when I need the skill and when I can actually execute the skill in real life. Practicing on live targets works better. And then tracker. What kind of progress am I making? What is my potential abilities? Where am I now? And how am I going to measure that? Many people fail because they don't have 7 and they really, really don't have 8, which is metrics. How are you actually going to evaluate that you're getting better? It might be, I'm cranking out the widget faster. I'm cranking out more widgets in the same amount of time. Those could be metrics. Or it might be, I'm smoother with the way I deliver that presentation. I just feel more confident. My boss tells me I'm better. Whatever the appropriate metrics are, you got to have it. Now, I wasn't kidding. August 8th, the Zebra code comes out. You can have it at your doorstep, on your e-reader, or in your earbuds the day my fourth child is going to be slung out into the world, and we're having a party that day, 1:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and I'm going to teach you how to build this. And it's also in the book. So number one is I would make sure that I am taking responsibility. And before I look at the chat here and see what some of the issues are that are ailing you in your happiness, I want you to remember, no matter what you're going through in any aspect of your life, it makes no difference. The more you take a step, the more you do something that helps you feel in control of the situation, the happier you will be. So I have observed managing many, many people. I've executed managing many, many, many people. And one of the things that I can tell you is if I give you a choice and you choose as a staff member on my team, A or B, you pick, I'll give you the choice. If you pick the wrong one and you decide later that you chose incorrectly, you won't be as mad than if I would have told you, you just got to do B, because you felt in control. And you will actually feel better because you feel like you made the choice. The same thing works when it comes to anything else in our lives. It's the fact that I am choosing to take control of my career development. Yes, it would be awesome if your employer actually had training programs for you, assigned a mentor that you absolutely loved, who actually cared about your development. But that's not reality, and most of us don't have that, even those of us that work for the largest companies. So take control, right? You can outsource a lot of things, but you can't outsource your own career. So own it. All right, that's the first thing. All right, now let me see what are some of the things that make people unhappy at work. Kara is telling me, let's see, maybe let me try to get to Mary Lou or whoever was first on that list so I can show you all. Here we go. Is it lack of opportunity? Okay, here we go. Let's get everybody here looking at the chat. Okay, Mary Lou, how are you? Lack of opportunity. Okay, so wait, this addresses some of that. Make your own opportunities, right? It's invest the time. Jim Abrahams, how you doing, buddy, from down the block? Stagnant environment. So here again, I'm not growing. I'm not making a greater impact. Things are kind of flatlining, right? Andy, what's up? Too many meetings and micromanagement. Oh, amen. I could tell you as a consultant and an executive recruiter, I could tell you the level of proficiency and the environment, the positive environment of an organization by the number of meetings they have. It shows an incredible lack of managerial prowess. The more meetings you have, much of the time you're having meetings to actually solve problems that somebody should have already solved or given you direction on how to carry out. So I'm totally with you on that. Michelle, passive-aggressive managers to direct reports, but leadership never sees it. Okay, so bad management, lack of leadership, no accountability. Nice, man. How are you? Cherry, what's up, my baby girl? How's Canada doing? Managers who don't know the concept of being an actual leader. That's right. Managing people is not being a leader. It's being the manager of people. Those are not synonymous. So these are some really good ones. Managers throwing people under the bus. So basically, Amy M not having their back. All right, so you guys are hitting on a lot of the good ones, right? These are very, very common, I mean the systemic level of issues that organizations have with these kinds of things are ever present, which is all the more important reason why you need to take control yourself. All right, number two. Well, actually, wait, number one, just to echo what I said in the opener, right? This is great about your current situation and it's helping you do your job better because you're growing skills. But number two, what this is doing is it's positioning you for the future. Same thing. This is like a quadruple header, not a double header. Career Achievements Journal, anyone? This is the career diary. All of you that follow me and have been in Andy Land for a while have one of these. I'm so proud of you for doing that. Any of you who are absolutely new and just found me 5 minutes ago, let me tell you what the Career Achievement Journal is. I want you to think about all those times that you had to job search and you were trying to recollect, what the hey did I do over at company XYZ 5 years ago, right? If you left that to memory, you're never going to remember. The other thing you won't remember is the impact you have. You won't be able to put this stuff down on your resume with any level of information or what I like to call teeth. And heaven forbid you get into a job interview and you actually need to explain to somebody what transpired. How are you going to leave it up to memory to recall all of that? We don't want you to do that. So I want you to keep this Career Achievements Journal, and I'm going to blitz through these 14. And the reason I'm going to blitz through it is because Kara's going to put the Career Achievements Journal in the chat because I give it away free. Actually, Kara, you know what? Can you also give them, while I'm at it, the skill building booklet? There's a 47-page booklet that includes my skill building methodology. Feel free to take both of these as my gifts for you today. All right, Career Achievements Journal, what's Andy talking about here? Well, what's the project? The project could be something that you did in a day. It could be something that you did in a week. It could be something that you do every day all year long, or it could be a year-long project, a 3-month project. It makes no difference. What was the project? Give me some stats. Stats could be, Andy, there was 50 people on the project. We had 7 teams in 3 countries. We had a problem where we were losing 10% of our customers every month. Anything that you can quantify, something that paints you a picture in your mind to understand order of magnitude. What was the business problem I was trying to solve? My customer service reps couldn't answer the calls fast enough. Our IVR was overloaded. The wait time was terrible. When they got on the phone, it took them too long to answer the customer's problems. We were losing customers. That's what I'm talking about. Players, who was involved, right? We had me. We had the committee, we had the stakeholders, we had the software vendors. Who was part of the process? What was the solution? What happened as a level of results that you could show, tangible and intangible? What were the ultimate benefits that you actually created? Grade 8, if you don't know what that is. What were the challenges and how did you overcome them? If you had to start this project over again, knowing what you know now, in hindsight, what would you do differently? This is really, really important stuff. What lessons did you learn? How did you develop? How did your company develop? And then overall, what were the total victories? I'm not just talking about the benefits and those kind of things. Like, who won? How'd you win? Who's better off as a result? These 14 things. And I will tell you, I actually went I took the step to actually write the benefits of this down because I don't want you to miss this. This is a 4-banger. Why would I want to have this journal? Well, don't you go in for performance reviews and promotions. Don't expect your boss to be able, hell, you couldn't even remember this stuff. How is your boss going to remember this stuff? Does your boss truly understand all the benefits that went along with this? All the political capital you earned internally, all the capital you earned externally, how much easier it is for you to market your product, how much more the internal customers love you, how much faster they're doing your job. Do not expect your boss, who's got his or her own problems, to remember this stuff. So, we're talking promotions. We're talking resume bullets, people. We're talking interview stories. And as I like to say, it's very therapeutic because why? It's a reflection exercise that shows you that you're probably actually impacting the organization and its customers or your internal teams or your boss or your staff more so than you think. And why is that? Why do I know that to be true? Because you don't stop for a minute to think about it. And the minute you think about it, And the minute you prompt yourself to think about it and to look for the good in, that's when it comes. Who's tracking with me? Give me I'm tracking in the chat. This is a big, big deal. Career Achievements Journal, grab it. It's free. And I want you to make sure that you're capturing it. And if you're wondering how long should I be spending doing that, whatever it takes, jot some notes. You can always add to it. But the fresher it is in your mind, the better it is. A lot of this stuff you can collect up front, right? What's the project? What's the scope? What are the benefits we're shooting for? What are the players involved? Just start jotting it down real time. When you're done, as you do things, update it as well. Okay, number 3. All right, this is an extension of the Career Achievements Journal, but I wanted to call this out separately. I want you to focus on the value you're creating. Max out the personal ROI. Okay, this just literally just popped into my head. I had no intention of saying this and giving this to you as an example. But I laugh because people, especially when I talk with them in one-on-ones or if I meet them at a meetup or something like that, and they say, Andy, you show up every Thursday. You teach, you answer questions, and you answer the same questions every single Thursday. How is it that you are so polite and it really looks like it brings you joy to be able to answer the same question for the 1500th time? Now, a lot of you, I want you to envision showing up to your job. Some of you might be living this right now, and you're doing the same thing over and over again. Wouldn't you say that me showing up every Thursday and answering your questions, the same question that I've asked a million times, is the same thing? That's right. Except that, number one, I know that person might have just found me and hasn't seen my 80,000 hours of videos, and that's okay. And from an empathetic standpoint and a genuinely wanting to serve standpoint, I remind myself of that every single week, every time I turn a camera on for that matter, multiple times a week. But from are you getting better at your skills? Are you getting better at your craft? Can I not use that same question to say it better, answer it faster, think of better analogies to use to help that person maybe have it register better, maybe try to think of creative examples based on what the person's function is or something of that nature. My point to you is, I'm not just answering your question because I am here to serve you, but what I am also here to do every week is work on my skills, work on my presentation, make it more fun. Part of my presentation isn't just delivering the content, it's making it fun for you. Job searching sucks. It really sucks. It's lonely. How can I make it better for them? Are there ways I can improve what I'm doing? And so all of this is maxing personal ROI. You asking me questions, even if they're the same questions or there's some new ones that might slip in, is also helping me keep current on what's most prevalent in the market. Also keeping me up to date on latest trends, latest issues, latest things that employers or recruiters or whoever are doing. So to you, I say, if you step back and look at how can I make this as valuable to me as possible? Yeah, and as valuable to the company, of course, but I'm talking about you in the context of your happiness. Well, if you step back and you look for ways for that to have joy in what you're doing, you're going to be happier. Personal ROI. So that's number 3. Number 4, I mentioned this about control earlier in the talk, but a lot of times you can get on a committee, or if you don't have committees, I'll give you examples of what I mean. Form one. Suggest that you have one. If you feel like the management team isn't listening, if you feel like the management team doesn't get it, if you feel like the management team is out of touch with what's happening on the front lines, if you don't have an employee advisory committee that is taking representatives from either different functions within the division, somebody from the business analyst side of the equation, somebody from the technology development side of the equation, somebody from the QA team, somebody who's in the user, but whatever it is, and create an advisory council of an employee group of people that is representation, different levels and different functions, whatever makes sense, that is counselors to the management team to keep them in tune with what's happening with the employees, so that, number one, you understand your employee base and don't make any assumption that any managerial team actually knows that. And number two, also looks for ways to help keep the employees happy. What are opportunities we can create? Are there better ways we can do things? It could be, I'm big on generating creative ideas and having formulas to do that, but employee-centric committees can do that as well. So either try to get on. I know a lot of companies have these. I participated on them. I organized them for the staff, or I was part of them as an employee, as a staff person. When I was working in corporations, I know a lot of organizations have them. If the organizations don't have them, perhaps consider trying to generate one and getting yourself on it so that you can actually contribute. Look, I live in a homeowners area, and anybody who lives in, we all have our own individual homes, but we're part of a homeowners association where we have a community. I know people that live in condominiums or townhomes or brownstones and things of that nature usually have a homeowners association. I don't want to participate on the association because I don't have any time to do that. But I also don't beef when they come up with decisions, approaches, or whatever that I might not agree with. I figure somebody else is handling it. But if I had a real problem, I'd get on the committee. I'd run for president and I'd run the thing. But I don't want to do that. But so it's my way of saying, if you are unhappy, take action. Don't just complain about it. All right. This goes back to the taking control part. All right. Next thing. How about a network? Now, if you're in your job and you're not looking for a job, I still want you to be building your network, because why? Because when you lose your job, you get fired or you leave, and you come here to my Thursday Live Office Hour shows and you say, Andy, I need tips on job search networking. I'm going to say the best time to plant the tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is today, and so on. You get the idea. I just think that having a systematic way of networking, even if you just are fully employed, maybe you've just started a new job. If you started a new job, I would have a network plan in place where every other Friday or every Friday I was reaching out to new people and people that I knew, maybe a mix of a few, maybe pick 5, 6 people, 3 you know, 3 you don't, and just try to reach out and start building relationships. I have videos on how to do this. I have multiple videos on how to job search network and how to just do overall professional business networking. But I would say to you that if you are unhappy, it's a good idea to meet people. Number one, it's just a healthy thing to do. Meeting new people has a way of freshening us up a bit. But also, I would try to meet people that are in your neighborhood, as far as, I don't mean location, but I'm talking about business function. Create opportunities, find networking groups that you could go to that are educational, not job searching related. If you go to a job search networking physical group where you're actually going, everybody's looking for a job. Go to a networking meeting where people are networking with each other because they're all employed and they're educating each other. They have guest speakers and everybody's handing out business cards. That's what I would try to do. So networking, that's another one. And then the last one is, I wanted to cap off with this. Ask for what you want. If there's something missing, ask for it. If you're not getting paid enough, ask for a raise. If management is out of tune, ask them to get in tune. And a way to get in tune, and a suggestion that would be helpful, is, can we get a committee together? Can we give you some insight into what it looks like to live a day in the life of us, or whatever it is, or what our customers are saying? But whatever it is that you want, you need to ask for it. If it's more responsibilities, ask for that. If it's more responsibilities that are leading up to a promotion that's coming in a couple months, fine. But ask. A lot of time, I know this may sound obvious, but a lot of people simply do not ask. They would rather commiserate and complain. But I would rather you ask, and it doesn't matter what you're asking for. You can ask for it in a polite, effective manner. How you say what you say is just as important as what you say. Believe me, whatever it is, you can bring it up tactfully and it will be taken in the proper context if you phrase it in the proper context. So, just a real recap. 6 things that I would do right now. Build your career development plan to start building your skills. If you're watching this with me in real time, we're having an epic book release celebration August 6th in honor of the Zebra Code being brought to life for the global public. So you're welcome to come and join me to see exactly how to do that. I would keep a career achievements journal. So the skill building booklet that Kara put in the chat and the career achievements journal that Kara put in the chat, you're welcome to take those for free. That's number 2. Number 3 is, oh, here we go. Make sure you are focusing on the value you're creating and your personal ROI. How can I personally get more value out of whatever I'm doing? Anything I'm doing. Get on a committee, take some action, network, and ask for what it is that you want. Okay, 26 minutes, maybe a little less when I cut out some of the fluff. If you enjoyed this, click the like button. Please make sure you subscribe because you know it hurts me when you miss my Tuesday morning recorded videos and my Thursday live shows. And if you found value out of this, please share it as well. If you're here with me live, we're going to the Q&A. If you're watching this on the recording, I'll see you next week.